We're here with Tim Watson, our local advice attorney who keeps us informed and up to date on all things legal. And Tim, I know you represent clients who have been injured, but tell us a little bit about how that works when someone is injured at a business or someone else's property.
Yeah. So you're talking about premises liability. Premises liability is the formal name for it. And it is just a kind of negligence. And so for a recap, negligence means four things that the plaintiff has to prove. The plaintiff has to establish that somebody owed them a duty of care. They were supposed to do something. Plaintiff has to prove that they breached the duty of care. They failed to do something or they did something that they shouldn't have done. They have to prove that the failure to do something, the breach, was the cause of an injury. And that has to be the proximate cause. It can't be a cause. It has to be the but-for cause. But for this breach, the injury would not have occurred.
I see.
And then you have to prove your damages. What's the extent of the injury and what are you entitled to because of it? It is negligence on somebody's property.
So it sounds like somebody was doing something they were supposed to do, but then someone else got hurt.
Yep.
Is that fair? I mean,
yeah. I mean, generally, on a very high level, it's when you're talking about premises liability, you're talking about a property owner who had a duty to typically know of some dangerous situation on his property that he failed to protect people against. Yeah. And so everybody owes everybody a reasonable duty of care. We all are supposed to act in a way to prevent unreasonable harm to other people. And so when you're talking about car wrecks, we're all supposed to obey the rules of the road. We don't drive drunk, and we don't speed up on somebody and wreck into the back of them. Medical malpractice, a doctor is supposed to do what reasonable doctors in his position would do. A business owner, somebody who invites people onto their property to sell goods or services, might have a higher duty of care. Might be something more than just the reasonable duty of care that most people, everybody, owes everybody.
So what about those businesses that have a higher risk? I mean, I'm thinking of skydiving or maybe like a gun range. Yeah, so the duty of care goes up. If you run a business, you have the highest duty of care to protect people. The caveat in that kind of a situation is that most of those businesses will have you sign a waiver. And so you go skydiving, you're probably going to sign something that says something like this: client or customer understands that this is an inherently dangerous activity with legitimate risk to body and maybe even death. And so you sign something that waives the liability of the business. And it usually goes a pretty long way in preventing that business from being liable for any injury that occurs, but it's not absolute. Yeah. And do you, or maybe even how do you help people evaluate these sorts of situations?
Well, so in that situation, let's say you go skydiving and you have signed this waiver and you get injured in some way. I mean, that's kind of extreme because if your parachute doesn't open, it's a bad deal.
I know the way you were injured.
But you evaluate the waiver and then you look into what the business actually did. And so even though it's an inherently dangerous activity, if the business didn't act with reasonable care to make sure that the way that they were performing their duty by allowing people to come and skydive conformed with what they should have done, it's still potentially a premises liability case. And so much more common is you go to the store and you slip and you fall and you hurt yourself. And there are rules about whether or not the duty was on the owner of that business to know about that slippery spot and whether they took the care that they were supposed to take to protect you against it. And so meeting with people and talking about this, we're evaluating those kinds of things.
So people go to a business, you're injured in some way, and you need to reach out to MGW Law Firm, Law Partners, to help them kind of navigate.
It's a good decision.
Can be difficult, right? What's the best way to do that, Tim?
So look us up on the internet. The website is mgwfirm.com, or there's the number on the TV screen. 479-435-9051 is the best way to call us.
Well, thanks for joining us and really kind of defining what premises liability means.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
For sure,